This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. I welcome you to the Performance Testing Real-Time Project course. So let me first talk about what we are going to do in our course. What is this course is all about. So as everyone who's joined this course already know or seen somewhere this performance testing life cycle. So with this course, what we are trying to deliver is to give you an idea and a real-time experience, of what are the different stages are there in a performance testing life cycle, and how a performance tester, if given, will do end-to-end testing, and how he will deliver the results. Uh, Before that, I want to talk about my target audience so that it can give you a better clarity and to the people that who should join this course. So basically, this course is so there's a prerequisite for this course, which is that a person should know LoadRunner. We'll not be teaching how to uh, develop scripts in the LoadRunner extensively. Definitely will help you out. So, but not extensively. So people who are they have learned LoadRunner, and they are basically searching for job, and they are not having a PT experience or any project experience per se. So here we have an application which is ishatrainingsolution.com. So we'll be doing a project on this application. So from NFR gathering. So on this application, we'll start from NFR gathering to strategy, planning, and plan development, then creating our own test plan, then doing test design, transition flow document developments, then workload modeling, then script development, execution. So I'll talk about more this in depth, that what different kind of executions that we are going to do. And once those executions are done, during that executions, we're gonna have two APM tools with us for analytics. So we'll be leveraging those tools to do analytics. Any issues that are coming up during execution, how to document that, how to highlight that to developer, or what to suggest in those scenarios, then publishing the results, and what are the different steps are involved. And not this, will be discussing how a performance test comes up with a number. So let's say that we are doing a workload modeling, so what should be the TPS, how much load should be put. So those things that will be doing each and every step. So this will give you a proper idea, proper real-time experience, which you can put on your resumes, and definitely, if at all you're given a project, you'll be able to handle. Now, the next, my target audience is basically manual tester already in the IT industry. They're working on different type of testing or development, and they wanna switch to PT, and they wanna explore that how our testing projects are executed. They are aware of the LoadRunner tool, and but they are having issues with the different stages or life cycle, and they want to understand how things are executed in a synchronous way, how our end-to-end testing is getting done. So they can definitely join this course. It will definitely develop. Then the student who want again end-to-end testing project experience, they want to know how this testing is done and want to explore before switching, see whether it's their thing or not. So they can also join, and they'll have a real good experience. And this course is also about also help students who are basically non-IT. They have learned to load, and they want to switch to IT, specifically performance testing. So it's a good course, because this course we have certain bonus topics which basically prepare them for that as well. I'll talk about that in the subsequent time. So those people also will get a benefit from this course. So let me give you an idea that what are the topics and things. Before that, let me just talk about the application. So this is the application. It's a application developed by Nanda. It's our own application developed by Isha Training Solution, basically for a real-time experience. So while developing this application, we have made sure that all the challenges scripting wise that which you may face in your real-time projects are incorporated in this. So when you are doing a scripting, let me just open it. Okay, so This application is used for learning performance testing tools like LoadRunner and Jmeter. So even though if you are not part of this world, I would suggesting go ahead that if you are really wanna have a good real-time experience on scripting, definitely go and record some scripts on this application. We There are also certain features that has been enabled like base 64 encoding, plain to URL encoding, security quotient handling, token generation, which is like about get a value then default value. How to handle these issues? So these are the things that are getting these features are basically getting enabled in this new application which is getting developed. So as a performance tester, you should be able to handle those things. So we have incorporated definitely when we are working on this project, we also we're going to face this issue, and we'll see how to handle that. I'm going to teach you how to handle this. But again, basic scripting should be known. The person should be able to do a scripting using LoadRunner. So this is an application. Let me talk about the application itself. So this is an application, MFS application. It's a validating application. So think of it as it's like a Paytm app. Paytm like have a lot of users, right? Uh, they like merchants who register with Paytm. So how do a Paytm manages those users? So this solution is all about that. Let me give a quick walkthrough. So you have to answer the security question. Once you log into the application, you'll come to the admin portal where you can search the merchants which are there, and you have to mention their MSN ID, or you can mention their name as well. It will show up. And then we have merchants. Let's say that if you want to register the merchant, okay, so you want to register the merchant, you can go ahead and do it from here. And there are different fields which I talk about when we'll be developing the scripts or transit flow document, that how scenarios are designed. So we'll be talking about more on this. Then we have certain rules. So let's say they have registered 10 merchant, you want to put that okay, these 10 merchants should not do a transaction more than 10,000 per day. So how do I achieve that? So I can put a rule on them. I can create a rule, and from there I can just do that. Then fee and taxes. Let's say you want to put fee and taxes on them. So what should be the way? I mean, how we should actually going to achieve that using this particular feature called fee and taxes. Again, not need to go in depth as of now in this, that how we are going to what are these things are there. But this is a live application. You can also access it from your end, and we'll be doing our performance testing entirely on this application. Uh, so now let me go to the things which we are going to cover in this span of 20 to 22 days. So first thing is so I want an introduction. Okay, so today is demo class, so we'll be talking about these things in depth. You can also, if you feel like you have any doubt, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask any question if you feel like that. Then target on season. So tools. Okay, so what are the tools that we are going to use in this project? So the first thing is LoadRunner. Obviously we have to record the script, so we should everyone should have LoadRunner. Then as a part of this course, we are for the APM purposes, profiling, basically it's the profiling tool that we are going to use is Dynatrace. So you all will be given access to that. Give me a second. Your voice is breaking. Okay, is it okay, Vivek, now? Hello, is it okay now? So Dynatrace, okay. So Dynatrace will be installing the Dynatrace on our application, and will be okay. So will be deploying this application, and dashboard will be created, and we'll be creating different kinds of dashboard on this. And what are the things we have to look for, uh, that we are going to discuss. Then this is a paid tool actually. So I mean so I mean, let's say that you got into a project. I'll discuss more on Dynatrace when the time comes. So Grafana. So why did we include Grafana? Is basically Dynatrace is a paid tool basically. So not every company, not every project can afford that. So if you got into a project and where you have to use open source tool, then you can go ahead and use Grafana as well. Then so next thing is confluence. So in any project, when you are working, you'll have a lot of things are happening at the same time, and your plans will get updated, your flow can get changed, your credentials will be there, or your script management is there. So if in this chaos, you need something to manage everything. So that's when project management tools comes into the picture. Every project has a project management tool. So for our project, we'll be using Confluence. You all be given the access to this, uh, where all the things like non NFR, our strategy, SOW, okay, then test plan, workload modeling, tangible document, scripts and results, okay, and case studies in the end if you are doing any. So that things will be uploaded, and it's uploaded, and you can everyone can access it all the time. And if any changes are getting made, how to update in the document, so that let's say that you are a performance tester, and then your team lead is there. Now he has asked you to do some changes, and your manager wants to review. He cannot change you, right? Let's say you are not available. So you are supposed to upload everything and keep everything updated in your project management tool, so that they can go ahead and check it whenever they feel like. So this is a very important thing, and you'll be having access to this, and you can go ahead and use it as per the need. Okay. Next thing is Postman. So this is something as a part of the course. One session will be taken actually about regarding interviews. So I mean, what are the things there that people are getting us. So in that we'll be creating a script, custom scripts, and in that will be before that we'll learn, okay, how to, let's say that you if you wanna, if you don't have the flow, that how do you create a flow using Postman. So Postman, using Postman will do the flow. The one scenario that we have designed in our LoadRunner, that for which we have created a script, we'll be creating that same scenario using a Postman. And in that I'll be using this Postman tool. So I'll give you a brief before that, so that you'll have a hands-on on this as well. So as a part of this course, so we're discussing in depth that what are the different life cycle, performance life cycle is there, what are different stage are there, and what is their importance. Okay. Then we'll have a performance walkthrough session, in which next session in which we will talk about not every project. Let's say that if you're working in a team, and let's say you have done the testing. Okay, testing is done, and now the second round of testing will be done. So you don't have to go and tell the client, right, that what is performance testing and everything. If it's an entirely new client, he is not aware of it, then how to approach them. Then if it's like a repeated project, then how to approach them. So usually companies, I mean, everybody has like performance testing walkthrough, and there are two different scenarios. So we'll be discussing that. Okay, there you go. So there are two scenarios, and we'll be discussing that how in those scenarios how to approach it, and what are the I mean, how to explain it to the client, or let's say that even the development team, they are not aware. Okay, what are the performance system? They are the performance team, but what is their deliverable? So how do we define that? We'll be having a walkthrough for that. Then introduction to the NFR. So we'll understand what is NFR, okay, how the NFRs are created. Okay, then we'll create one NFR for our project, for our project, and some homework will be given. I'll give you some homework which I expect everyone to do that day itself. And then you have a good understanding, because I will I can create the variables, and I can tell, okay, these are the conditions are there for which you have to answer these questions, or you have to put on these questions. But when you go home and you think of it, you'll get more questions which may be relevant, which may not be relevant. So I would suggest that whatever topics that I'm going to cover, think of it that day itself on your own, that if you're a performance tester, what question you would have asked, additional questions. Okay, or let's say that if I have suggestions on you, how is it relevant? So that question you need to ask every day in each sessions, and if you have any doubt, you have to clear them in there itself, so that the vacuum gets developed. Okay. So the next thing is questionnaire. So let's say that once we have the NFR, we need stats, right? Server stats, application stats. So how do we get those as well? Then once that is done, application knowledge. So as a performance user, you have been asked to do a performance testing of this application. You need to improve the performance of this application. But before that, you need to understand the application, right? This will happen in your projects as well. Whenever whichever project you go, you there also you have to understand the application. So how do approach that, and what are things that you need to work on, because scenarios is created by you only like suggest some most of the time. Even the application team suggests, okay, these are scenarios they want to get test, but they leave it to performance testers and they have to create the scenario. So how to approach that, and for that you need to understand the application. So we'll understand this application, through that you'll get an experience, so that okay, how to do in the real-time projects as well. Next thing that we are going to do, okay, application architecture, very important. This is the front end that you see, right? But in the back end, what is happening? What a system are you going to improve? Are you going to improve database? What kind of database? Is there any application server, or it's like what kind of server and what kind of configuration is there? What are the possible solutions that you can suggest? I mean, what kind of app, what technology it is based on? It is whether it's on Java or microservices, whatever. So depending upon that, you have to approach it, and you have to understand that, right? Let's say that you are saying, okay, high response time, but where that high response time is coming up. So in order to understand that, you need to have understanding the application architecture as well, whether it's getting choked up in network, whether it's getting choked up in web servers, whether it's getting choked up in application server, or where it is taking a longer time to fetch the data, so it is getting like database query issue. So wherever it is, as a blocker, you need to identify. In order to identify, you should be aware of the application architecture, so that you will be able to understand better, you will be able to communicate in a better way and get the solution. So this is very important. And for our application, quickly if I can show you, okay, there you go. Our application, a little bit, this is the application architecture. So it's basically based on microservices. So we'll be understanding how these microservices are configured, and what are different presentation layer, database layer, business logic layer, how my request is going from my client machine to database and coming back, when they are going to database, whether all the requests are going to the database, how a request basically travels from your client machine, or let's say from your browser. When you hit okay ishatrainingsolutions.com, how it travels to the internet, how it goes to my server, how it get processed there, how it comes back, what response I get back. So everything will be discussed in MFS application architecture, so that as a performance test you can, while when we are running the test and we are seeing errors in our Dynatrace tool, how to interpret that, because in order to interpret that, you need to have this understanding. So that we'll be doing in this MFS architecture session. Okay, so next thing is creating test plan. So we'll be creating the test plans for our tests, that how we are going to do the executions. Okay, so those things will be discussed. I can show you the test plan. So this is how our test plan looks like. So it has different phases: environment readiness, then script development. Okay, so it can basically plan like any plan. Let's say that if you are going to do some in execution, or even in real time also, we plan, right? Okay, by this date I have to finish my course, by this date I have to do these things. So same way projects also, they have a deadline, so they have a planned start date, then a finish date, then completion date, because things doesn't get completed by, because there are some delays. Let's say the issue that has come up in your application, okay, and the application time is taking time, application team is taking time to fix that. Obviously your timeline will get delayed. So but the complete time is always different. Then what is the revised date time, actual, give me a second, I'm getting few, check the chat. Sumitarani, what kind of things? My voice is clear, right? Can you anyone confirm? Can you give?
Yes, Shaurya, your voice is clear.
Yeah, sure. Okay, let me answer quick questions. Is this recording session will be shared? Yeah, it will be shared. What kind of things will be done? Grafana and Confluence. Okay, so Confluence is basically for the project management. Uh, Okay, so Confluence is basically a project management. So the things that I'm showing, test plan. So we'll be creating test plan, right? So we have uploaded one sample test plan there, and once we have developed the test plan in our class, I'll be uploading that in the similar way in your projects also. Whether it's like be it any team, they always every team has the project management tool. Let's say that you are executing a project. Let's say you have left that company. Now the next person will come up, how he is going to access these things. So documenting also matters, and it's very important for manager and uh, lead point of view. Okay, so if you are a lead or if you're a manager, you'll understand the importance. So again, how to do it well so that it is easier for you and your team as well, so we'll understand that. That's why we have Confluence and Grafana. Okay, so for APM level, we'll be having Dynatrace, and for Grafana we only have server level stats. Let's say that when you're running the test, in order to monitor CPU, memory, disk space, all those things, we'll be using Grafana. But in terms of APM, okay, profiling purposes, let's say the requests that are going to a request, how to analyze, okay, each and every trace that are getting generated. Okay, so that for that we'll be using Grafana. I'll show you. Yeah, give me 2 minutes. Okay. Okay. So, okay. So again, I was talking about our test plan. So again, these things we'll be doing in our class. Then test setup. Let's say that in some companies, what happens, you only have to do all these things, this monitoring setup. And some teams, they have a team, so they also have a deadline. So you have to put those that accumulate all those timelines. So test wise, we are going to do 3 kinds of tests. So first is a load test, then second is scalability test, and third is endurance test. So we'll be doing these 3 kind of tests for our MFS application, and we'll be uh, analyzing the results and analyzing the issues, how to and tell it to the application team. And if you tell you see anything, okay, that needs to be improved, how to suggest that as well. So we'll be seeing those things. Okay. Next thing, again, the test plan is, and then workload modeling, very important. So on this NFR, we'll be discussing, so client doesn't know, right? Client say that, okay, I have this much of traffic in my application, I want to make sure that people are able to handle. So for our performance tester, how to convert those numbers. Okay, they will say, okay, 10,000 users are coming into my application, can you test it? So how to design a scenario, okay, how much TPS are you going to apply, and how to convert, right, those into numbers, okay, how to come up with that number. So we'll be discussing that in our class. I think I had it. Okay, so we'll be discussing in our class that how to come up with this number, and then workload modeling wise, uh, that how are we going to do it, create the workload modeling. Okay, so how to create the volumetrics, how to do the user load distribution, all those things will be discussed in the class, will be developed in the class. Some homework, I mean, I'll give you some numbers so that you can also go home and think. Okay, because see, I'll tell you, okay, take 20, 30, 40, this is how I'm going to, you'll feel okay, I done, I got it. But if I just change the number, you will get confused. Okay, that happens. So for that, to get the clarity on that, the best way is to just come up with few numbers and think in your own mind with the new scenarios, and you'll have some questions. If you get, like, if you can get clear those questions, then definitely you can get it, and you can come up with any solution. I mean, any number, any volumetrics that is given to you, you can convert that. So we'll be doing that in class. Then creating the transaction flow document is basically the flow. So let's say that, okay, these flow that I'm trying, let's say for my application, I want to test, okay, login, then I want to check, okay, merchant registering the merchant, then create and tax labs. How to come up with those scenarios, how to create the scenario, what are the things, let's say when we are defining the transactions, when do we define a transaction, what are the things are you trying to capture. So those things, I'm sure you will have the clarity, but more personally, I felt that people don't get it much, that okay, this is the request, like okay, for everything that I'm doing, I need to define a transaction, or the requests that are going to the server. So in order to get this clarity, and because of also you have to develop it, so when we are doing it, I'll be discussing this as well in the class, so that this we can get more clarity, and we'll get how in general a business flow transaction flow document is created for your ease, and for the, I mean, let's say that when we think give it to somebody else also in the future, they also have a ease in understanding, okay, what was the flow of the application. Then script development part. Before script development, I'll have one session, okay, dedicated one session in which I'll quickly walk through the LoadRunner. Okay, it will include everything from start to end. I'll ask few questions. It's not like I'm teaching, it's like, because since you are all have aware of LoadRunner, so I'll have a few questions. If I see that, okay, something is plus and minus, I'll try to fill it up in that session itself. And then once that is done, then we'll directly move on to our script development phase. So in this phase, there are certain things that we are going to do. So I mean, in this application, we have security question handler. So if some people are having issues, so I'll be doing these things in class so that you can also understand it. So for this our project, we'll be using VTS actually. So virtual table saver, because we have the large amount of data that we need to put in. So how to do a VTS setup? Okay, then plain URL encoding, passing. Let's say that you are having an authentication, how to pass the tokens. Okay, let's say the token value is bigger, then how to handle that, then how to handle a security question, then we have a dynamic body also, so how to handle dynamic body. Once these things are done, let's say that I'll be helping you out with this. And if you are still stuck, I can give you the script as well. So the scripts that we are going to learn, I can give it to you. You can also do the execution, but I appreciate that if you develop on your own. Okay, then once the scripts are done, we'll do a one dry run. Okay, some people call it smoke test also. I mean, just to see whether the scripts are working for or not. And they, let's say that if you have a LGD from your machine, so just to make sure that whether your scripts are working from that machine itself or in a controller, we'll do a small smoke test for our in our live class as well, so see whether the scripts are working fine or not. Once that is done, next part will be our Grafana and monitoring setup. So installation wise, we'll not be doing in our class. Okay, installation wise, we'll not be doing in our class. Installation will be already done. The things that we are going to do in our class is two things, very major, very important. First thing is things that a performance issue look for. Okay, we have a lot of things in our Dynatrace. If I, yes. Okay, we have a lot of things. If you can see here, these are the features that a Dynatrace is giving to me. Okay, but do I need to look at everything? Okay, is it relevant to me? So understanding this is very crucial. Okay, so we'll be discussing what are the things that a performance should watch out for. One session entirely will be for that. And we'll be creating a dashboard. Okay, so dashboard, what benefit the dashboard gives us, that on a single span of window I can see multiple things at the same time when I'm running the test. So if any issue is coming up at some place because of some other issue, I can correlate that immediately. So how to do that? So we'll be creating the dashboard. What are the relevant dashboards are there? Okay, I'll be teaching in the class. And then uh, okay, so and traces, okay, very important. So whatever the request that you are going, so the trace get recorded in Dynatrace. So how to analyze the trace? Okay, what is pure path? Okay, and before that I'll have a one like a quiz 15-minute session and one session on what is Dynatrace. I mean, how Dynatrace is able to do it. So let's say that if you did, okay, said in the interview, okay, fine, I have worked on Dynatrace, but they can ask you, okay, well, how Dynatrace work, what is ActiveGate, how the data is stored, what is one agent, all those questions. I mean, you should have a clarity. So we'll be discussing that. So these things will be incorporated in one class: creating dashboard, understanding Dynatrace, understanding how to work on the trace, how to identify the issue, how to understand the dependencies. So when I'm saying that, okay, fine, I have a microservices, and these let's say A microservice is calling B microservice, B microservice is calling C microservice, and between that some issues has come up. You will see, okay, gateway issue, but it's not a gateway. I mean, okay, it will say, okay, I'm not able to access the microservice B, but it is not because of that it is not able to access. There's something happened on B which is causing it not able to access C. And what is the issue? So how to analyze, how to understand, how to find that issue, we'll be seeing that in Dynatrace. Okay, how can we achieve that in Dynatrace as well? Okay, so Dynatrace session will cover that. Regarding Grafana stats, I mean, that has been configured only. I can show you Grafana. So see if you can see CPU usage, load, all these things. So when we are running the test, these metrics will get populated. If you can see, memory usage at 49.3. This is for our actually it's a Linux system on which we have hosted applications. So this is there, it's that stat. So how to analyze these stats also, because when we are creating a report, we have to share the server stats as well. So definitely we can use this tool as well for that point of view. uh, okay, so the next thing, analytics part. Okay, so this is in this analytics part basically I discuss not on the application, in general, Dynatrace. Okay, how to analyze Dynatrace, how to utilize Dynatrace, how to analyze the traces, what are the different things available at our disposal in Dynatrace. So we'll be looking at that. Now once that is done, we'll be moving to our executions. First thing is our load test execution. In this we'll be discussing give me a second please. Okay, so the next thing is our execution, which is load. So there are three kinds of tests that we are going to do: load, scalability, endurance. So we'll be designing it in the scenario, I mean in our controller, that how to design the scenario. Then script execution to check whether scripts are working on it, making sure how let's say that I mean everyone has no load runner, so a lot of metrics we itself get in our controller as well. So how to analyze that as well? What are the things are which is the most useful, which is the least useful? How to correlate those? I mean how to look at which graph and how to correlate that with the APM tool if you have any. So how to correlate all those things? What are the things that are most important? Let's say whether we should look at TPS graph or the error graph. How to see the error logs? How to come up let's say that you have seen okay the requests are failing, the failures are coming up. Okay, give me a second, what's the query? Can you maximize the screen? It looks so tiny. Okay, is it look tiny guys? I can, because I have maximized it. Okay, sorry, I got it. Is it okay?
Now okay.
Okay, sure. So execution wise we'll see three different kind of execution: load test. So how to do that, then monitoring, same thing. So for this load test, how we did it in the last session was that we on these 3 days the class was not for 1 hour, it was for 1.53 hours. So everybody had joined half an hour early, and then we have done the setup in half an hour, then we executed the test. Okay, and for that test, and we were like the way I like everybody, any performance system would have done in the real time. We have done that in the real time, and after that I was capturing the stats during the class to show okay what are the things that you need to capture. And once that I have like send the reports for the people to understand, and then in the next session, before the session, we discuss that report. So same thing, endurance, scalability, and endurance strength, we can do it like you have to join half an hour early for these sessions. And for endurance, what happened that again half an hour early, but this was for 4 hours. So what I have done that again everyone has the will have the access for Dynatrace, okay, individual access, and for Confluence and Grafana will have a common access. So everybody can, I mean it doesn't clash, so you can log in. And people were although class ended after 1 hour, but people were monitoring it from their end for the entire 4 hours or run, and asked them that capture the stats that you found okay, this is something that you need to highlight, and then we have discussed on that. So that was done for the endurance. That is how the endurance will be done, because we cannot set for entire 4 hour run. uh, Next thing is our okay, so next thing is test result analysis. So we'll be doing this thing in our class as well. We'll be analyzing it at side by side, but correlating everything, putting everything in the single basket, and how to do the presentation and all. So those things we'll see in this session, that how to create test reports basically. Okay, what others you might have got the question, okay, what do you share in a test report? So you can go you will be seeing a lot of things we'll be sharing in this report, and you can go ahead and talk about that as well. But we'll see okay what are the necessary things that you need to show. So that is very important. And how to create, how to well document it, how to highlight the issues. Let's say you have found that issue, okay, web server is causing a trouble, then how to tell okay this particular piece of code is creating the trouble, how to give proofs. All those things we'll see in our test report analysis session. Okay, and now by this time our executions and all will be done. Okay, you will be able to handle all the projects. But in a real project, let's say that every project is different, right? That keeps us motivated and keeps us going. So if you've been challenged and you're learning new things, you're learning new things for a project, that needs to be documented, so that if again let that same project comes up, how do you, I mean, let's say if you are there, you will be able to do it. Let's say there's some new person, he has to also go through the same struggle, which you don't want. So you document those things, you that goes into lesson learned, so that a new person can learn that from that lesson learned, or you can teach your team as well, so that okay, these are new things that we have learned. So how to do that we'll be seeing in a lesson learned topic. Then okay, this is again Confluence part. Again, this is a Confluence part, that how we should update in the Confluence. Then once the testing is done, everything is closed, ideally we have to approach that application team asking whether okay, second round of testing will be done, how to do that, how those, so how to approach that, and those things will be discussed in this class as well, single class, not a big topic. Then when this is done, we have certain bonus topics for our session as well. So first thing is advanced load on question. So we'll again, I told that for that we'll be using Postman tool. So we'll see okay, how to do entire flow from Postman as well. Let's say that when I'm saying okay, I'm logging into this application, I'm going to merchant, I'm entering my name, okay, I'm creating the rule, I can do same thing from Postman as well. So how to do that, okay, we'll be seeing that as well. We're getting a small script, custom request, custom script, that how to create a custom script as well. Okay, and few good questions which I feel that you should be aware of. I mean, it should definitely help you, and it's good for learning as well point of view. So that thing will be done one session. Then we have performance testing case studies. So I have something prepared for you. So to understand okay, what needs to be done, okay, so we have this performance testing case studies, that what was the problem that has come up, okay, what is the problem, what is the solution delivered, what is the benefit. So the performance you should have the understanding, right, that okay, fine, a team came up to you, okay, sir, I have this problem, I want to do performance testing to identify the bottlenecks, and what you have incorporated as a performance tester, what are the things that you have employed, and what are the possible solutions that you've tested, and how it benefited the application. So we have 4 case studies. We'll be discussing these 4 case studies, which will, I mean, definitely will help you to understand how performance testing in general helps the technology to become much better. And definitely you can talk about this in your interview if you wish to. Okay. Next thing is uh, basic Linux command. Okay, Sql and Linux command from one system. Now this particular thing is entirely for the this, I mean, this section is being created for the people who are from non-IT. Okay, so I'll be taking from basics. Okay, what is SQL, how SQL, I mean, where to where to employ SQL. Okay, what are the basic commands that in SQL you should know. Okay, how to write a query, basic query. Okay, basic queries. And basically people like people who are non-IT, they are very good, they are very hardworking, and what happens that once they get into a project, they'll be all the performance testers, basically they should be aware of it. Okay, basically Linux and SQL, so they'll struggle a lot understanding those things. So just to give them okay, warm up and give an idea okay, how these things are, because most of people if are from IT, they have studied Linux and SQL somewhere, so they have that little bit of background. But people from IT, they are completely off the chart for this. So for them it's from there, because in the last session I my few students had this issue, so I thought let's go ahead and include this in this course as well, so that they will feel much better when they get an actual project. And same goes for the Linux, that what are the basic Linux commands that our performance should be aware of. But and in some projects what happens, you don't even have any APM tool, and the system is also Linux. So I can monitor the metrics. Let's say that these are the metrics that I'm seeing. I can monitor these metrics in my system right now on Windows, but how to monitor these metrics in Linux system? So that become little tricky. Okay, so how to do that? And basic commands, let's say you want to see the logs. Okay, let's say you want to read some files, you wrote some cell command, and how to execute that cell command. Let's say for for creating dumps, pulling dumps and all. So some scripts is created, but you are not able to understand Linux platform itself, that you are struggling to run the command, basic commands. So we should not face that issue. I don't want that to happen. So that's why this particular thing is involved. But this is purely created from a point of view from people on IT, and they wanna like if they are coming to IT, and it's a like a stepping stone for them from that point of view. Next thing is SOW creation. Again, this is a bonus topic. So these are extra topics that we covered. So in SOW, since if you're I mean, for a lead and from a manager point of view, this is definitely going to benefit you. Again, how to create a SOW? Okay, so service level agreement, I mean, we have that agreement. How to document that, how to create those things. Okay, so what are the things that you need to put in that? So those things we'll be covering in this session, this particular topic, that how the SOWs are created and what are the things that needs to be there or documented. I mean, mostly it concerns with how much efforts and the billing. So we'll see how it's done. Okay, and it's, I mean, it's a good idea for you also, people who are like looking for former sisters initial step. Also they should be aware, okay, how their efforts get built. So it will give a good idea. Now the last thing is basically our interview. So this is a, I mean, you can say a proportional thing. So a one-to-one interview, mock interviews will be taken. Okay, uh, before this session I'll okay, so it's before this there's one more thing that we are going to do is interview insights. Okay, so I mean, large chunk of people actually comes looking for a job, so they face a lot of issues. Okay, while creating for in our interview. So what are the interview insights? So we have certain interview, I've created some slide for interview insights, in which I'll talk about what is actually the I mean, market is looking, and what HRs, I mean, people, there are a lot of good people who are very good, they have the knowledge, but their CVs are not getting shortlisted. So why that is happening? So we'll see that as well. I talk about how to curate your CV properly, how to, I mean, how to market that on LinkedIn and all those things. That thing will be covered in this session. I'll be talking about this as well for journal in public. Okay, everybody will get this. I will talk this in class so that everyone can improve on that. The only difference is that these 5 people who will be there. So I'll be taking a one-to-one mock interview, and in that I'll be taking a real-time interview. Usually I take difficult interviews so that a good level of expectations are set, so that when you go into actual interview, you'll be able to perform. Okay, so one-to-one interview will be taken, and once that interview is done, again for these people, the things that I'm going to talk about, I'll see there, and if I can give a one-to-one input as well, if they wish to. So I've done for my previous student also. So I'll share some sample CVs as well, sample templates also. You can go ahead and update it, because people are using medieval CV templates. Okay, so let's get updated with the time. This is 21st century, so I'll share some templates. I would request everyone to update. I requested for in a previous batch as well. So those things, but the thing is, this one-to-one mock thing, interview, feedback, resume review, all those things will be there for only first 5 signups, people who will sign up for the first 5 signups only. Okay, so this is what our course is all about. If anyone has any question, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. I can answer that if you have any questions. Okay, so parameterization will be covered. Yeah, I mean, see, parameter as a when I'm saying that you should know LoadRunner, so you should know, right, correlation and parameterization. So when but when I say that, okay, fine, in let's say when I'm recording the script for this Isha Training, let's say for this MFS application, again, certain things we need to parameterize, right, and we need to correlation. So what are the correlations that I have done? Definitely I'll share with you. And what are the correlations I have done, that also I'll share with you, and why I have done that. And we'll be using BTS. So the values, where we have to send the values, we will be sending it to our virtual table server. So how to do that, again, we'll be discussing that. But yeah, if you ask him how to what is parameterization in general, then I think that that is a part of LoadRunner course itself, you should know. Okay,
How many days
anybody?
total, Shaurya, it will?
So the thing is, I have, if you can see here, I have stated times also. So I'm expecting, let's say 20 days. Okay, but last time it went to 27 days also. But I mean, if you talk about the timelines, so the day I'm saying, okay, I'll be ending this course, we exceeded only 2 days, but we had weekend sessions also. So on weekends, we connected, we had sessions. Uh, so by that, I mean, I took some 27 hours, 27, 26 hours, we had 26 hours, but day wise, we exceeded 92 days extra. We was able to finish.
I mean,
That depends
sometimes we
upon
need
the
to take
speed.
on weekends also, right?
Sorry.
Sometimes we need to take on weekends also.
That depends, bro. I mean, uh, see, we are going right. If I have to cover the finish this topic itself, and I was not able to do it, so lag gets created, right? So in order to clear the lags, I mean that goes by the consent. If everybody agrees, then only we like take on. It's not mandatory thing, but again, my intention is to deliver all these things, and until these are delivered, I I don't cut short on topics. Basically, what I want to say. So my intention is by 20, and I should be able to finish it. Let's say that if I stuck, let's say someone is not able to understand, so I have to make him understand, right, that topic. So sometimes it get extended. So let's say 20. Yeah, I think you can keep at 20, 22, 22 max. It won't go, I think, beyond that. At least I'll try to do that.
And one more thing, Surya, like what are protocol you are cover?
So protocol wise, HTTP only. HTTP protocol, we'll be developing this from HTTP protocol.
Have any chance to like true client or any SAP protocol?
True client, we can do it, but the question is that you should ask that why you need true client, right? My application is it do I need true client? So the question that first I will ask, what when you should employ LR, I mean HTTP, and when you should use true client. Okay, and what I would suggest you do one thing. Since you are want a true client, I can have a half an hour session. I mean, true client is very easy, so I can tell you can create the script on true client. And again, so the executions that I'm going to show you, this is for everyone. Is that it's not that what I'm doing is like you have to just watch it. You have to replicate the same thing in your home as well, in your personal laptops as well. Okay, I will be sharing the link for the LR. LR. You can install that using that link. I will share the link. You can install it in your machine as well. And the things that I am going to do after every class, I'll advanced SL I can show you share this document, but I expect what I prefer is that by the day class ends, I'll share this document. You work on the document itself, and when I say homework, I mean I'll change the numbers. Okay, those things that will be there. That will be that you have to do on your own. So you'll get I mean you also get a hands-on experience, right? That is the whole point of this course. So and so what you have to do, you do one thing instead of using this HTTP, just use true client protocol and do the execution, and let me know the result. I can verify that. Will it works?
One thing, what about Ptcr report? I mean, you are giving brief or else going to have one session on Ptcr report?
I can show you the report for the last time. I think this was the report. This is for the last one. So we had this. Okay, so we had this was a scenario. Okay, these were the timings at which we have done the execution, load test. Okay, and this is a summary that we have done. This is a SLAs. Then what are the throughput versus then latency, server stats. Then I think this was for this the analytics pass that we have done. Okay, what are the issues that we are identifying? We've highlighted this. So I mean, this is a report that we have created last time. I'm hoping we have, I mean, the certain issues that we identified, we have highlighted to the developers. We try to get it fixed. Let's hope that issue doesn't come up, and if new issue come up, we'll be doing that. The report will be detailed. What was it?
I mean, one session will be there for Ptcr report, or else just sample it will be shown. That's
No,
what my
it's a
question.
one session. It's a one session. So the thing is, you what will happen now? That when we are running the test, we are doing the analysis at the same time. We are not looking at the controller. Let's say in controller you saw the failure, right? You don't sit idle, right? So you go into load Dynatrace. You see why that issue, why this failure has come up. Okay, so at that instant only you are analyzing that issues as well. that, right? You, I mean, it's a, I mean, people ask in the interview as well, and that's a good question also, that you are seeing the failure. What are you doing from your end? Or just see, let it fail, right? You can't let do that. You should know the reason. Okay, if it's failing, let it fail, but why it should fail? So we'll be doing the analysis, and the same things get incorporated in a report as well. That I mean, by the time like 3 execution will happen, you'll see the errors. Okay, you'll be able to understand the errors. You'll be able to understand the document the error. The only thing is, the session in which I'll be sharing the report, I will share how to document that, how to, I mean, present in a certain way, so that people can understand in an easier way.
Just one question. Like we can, I mean, Jenkins with Jmeter, right? Do we have the like that with LoadRunner or else?
Yeah, there's a, I mean, that can be done, but as a part of this course, we are not included that.
Okay.
Yeah, I got your question. We can do that. That can be done, but we are not doing this in project, in this particular project.
Okay,
Basic
fine.
knowledge. Yeah.
Can you give me a brief idea about on that with just 10 to 20 minutes for that Jenkins in this course?
Okay. In the end, definitely, I'll try to do that. In the end, if the time suffice and we have like, if we are able to finish in 20 days, definitely I'll try to incorporate. Otherwise, I'll send some videos to you. You can go ahead and, I mean, it's not
Reference
that
also fine. Reference also fine for that one.
I
No
can send
worries.
some video. If it's like, if like we are on the time like track properly, then definitely I can incorporate it, taking extra class, and otherwise I can share some link. So you can go
Okay,
ahead and
fine.
okay, basic scripting knowledge and parameterization, little correction is enough to take the course. Okay, when you say that basic scripting knowledge, okay, so basically if I give you an application, let's say that if you again, I can tell you the correlation that needs to be done in our class. Okay, that needs to be done, but again, I mean, I don't want people who what is parameterization, what is correlation itself, basic question. So then I think they need to listen, because again, there are people who are very good at scripting here. They'll join, they have invested a good amount of time in practicing the LoadRunner, so they are very good at scripting. Let's say that I'm getting, okay, I'm saying that, okay, 401 error is coming up, some authentication is there, I'll go, so things that I'm doing, they will be understanding because they have gone through that. But again, if then you will ask, okay sir, can you explain the correlation itself, what I'm not getting, what is correlation? So then it's a trouble. So I would suggest that if you have, you can, if you have that understanding, definitely you can go ahead and join. Otherwise, okay, any else? Let me just stop my sharing. If you want, I can take quickly names one by one, and you can ask your question. Feel free to ask questions. Okay, that is the, I would say, the USP of my previous project was that everyone uh, communicated with me. Okay, communicated with me. So there were people who wanted job, they got the job. Okay, there were people who are already in the project but they were struggling, so they got that solution. Okay, so right now I have to create like design or answer the questions in my into a larger forum. But when the after like this course gets a closed loop happens, then it's much easier for me to focus. I mean, we can answer questions, let's say, which are specific to the people. So I mean, the SQL and Linux was right. The reason I've included, because last session there were people who are facing those issues, so I've shared some videos with them, but I thought, why not cover this in this session as well. So that's how the course develops also. So the best way is to do that is to be open and candidate, be upfront, and then you will get the max benefit. uh, Only one thing, in the
Also,
group,
Surya, just I have one question. How many years for you? I mean, how many years of experience do you have?
9, yeah, 7 years.
7 years. Okay, fine.
Okay, so I'll do one thing. I'll share one Google form in the group. Okay, you don't need to put your real, I mean, the identity will be like secret, so it won't be disclosed. But in that, I want you like a few questions that what is your expectation, how much experience you have, how much knowledge you have on different technologies. I would suggest everyone to please fill that form, okay? And if you are serious about this course, because that will give me a fair idea about your knowledge, and so that I can like teach in from that level, and it will be easier for you to understand. Because if the expectations are not, and then I mean it doesn't go well.
I
Okay,
mean, are
fine.
you able to put that link in group or else the different
No, the group only
in this
that we
group?
have. Yeah, group itself. After the session, I'll put it in.
Okay, send me the link. I will
Yeah, I
upload. I
encourage
mean,
every
I
one
will.
of you, not Patan only. Every one of you should fill that. That really helps.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, got it. I know. Just send me the link.
Okay, anyone
Thank you.
else? I have any question? I can see a lot of people are there waiting. You can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask.
Which version of LoadRunner are we using?
You can use, I mean, the latest version as well, 21, and but I think I was using 12.60. I'll share the link. I'll have both with
Okay.
them. Both with me. I'll share that. Don't worry. Fine. If nobody has any questions, then I can close this session. Feel free to ask any question in the group. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Shaurya. Thanks.